One, two, three.
Game on, it's gaming time. Excellent, game on, it's gaming time. Excellent.
Oh my God!
Hey, look at that shit!
Oh,
Wow!
This looks so good.
I am almost speechless, which is good because being speechless in a job like this, it doesn't end well.
I feel like I got to move myself just a little bit. So if you're listening to this, like audio-wise, just on the podcast, Straight and myself are in the brand new studio, and God, it's looking good, bro.
It is. It really is.
We're lit. We've got a nice camera. There's some.
I am so jealous. I wish I could be there with you guys right now, but I'm feeling a bit under the weather. So I didn't want to take any risks, but hopefully next week I'll be right there with you.
Fingers crossed. Fingers
Hopefully
crossed,
I'll be cool
Stormy.
enough to stand behind that table.
But I am pretty excited about this because like for a long time, it's been quite some time where we've been doing remote shows and stuff because of COVID. And now things are like finally starting to get to normal, but we've also got this cool space. The camera looks really good. We look really handsome. I got to tell you guys, because you can't smell what I can smell. Straight smells amazing. He's had a fresh shower.
Had my weekly shower.
Yeah, your weekly shower.
Yep.
And I'm really proud of you that you have it on a Wednesday. That's
why I
great.
have a day off.
But gee whiz. So Storm, it'll be great to have you here when you get in. But feel free to let us know what you guys think, how the shot is. Is everything looking really good? Are you enjoying it? Natty, Menthonzo, Arion, Daz Action's here. Gamma's here. All the legends. It's great to have you here. That's it. That's it, guys. That's it. God, I'm just excited. Oh,
So good.
and my wife found my glasses.
Woo!
So thank you, Liz. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Liz.
Welcome to the Goa Weekly Show. Here we are for another week.
So good. Like it's really good to be back because we got a lot to talk about this week, and we're going to start it off with a sort of a newly named segment. Like we've been doing this for a little while, but now it's actually got an official name.
It does. You talking about what we've been playing? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
What else would I be talking about, Pete?
Well, I don't know. You could be talking about something that I wasn't prepared for, but I'm glad you're talking about something that I'm prepared for. Yes, we do. We have a brand new segment. Is it this one? Am I pressing this one,
Yep,
Jimbo?
that's the button.
Is
Press
this
the button.
I'll press the button.
Yep. Press it.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, Pete.
Oh, no, that's not the button. It's this
Oh.
button.
Sorry, I lied.
no.
The other button.
Hey!
Oh,
There we go.
hang on.
Might have to shift a couple of things. Might have to shift Stormy up a little bit and shift. Guys, it's a work in progress. Chill. Just chill out, will ya?
Hang on. No, I can do this. There. Maybe.
Oh my God.
There we go.
What a great. Oh, look at that. Now the overlay's overlaid.
Imagine that.
Everything. That's amazing.
Tech working.
Guys, our What Are You Playing is now sponsored.
we got a sponsor.
Yep, by the people, the good people that are pumping the internets into the brand new studio. It is an absolute pleasure to welcome to the team and to the Goa family, Aussie Broadband, Bloody Good Broadband, who will be bringing us every week the Bloody Good Game of the Week.
How bloody good is that?
It's bloody good. Now, for a long time, you guys know that we have been going, we bloody love gaming at Goa. And what else do we bloody love? Bloody gaming.
Oh, you went too quick, Pete.
No, I did go too quickly there.
I was trying to do Dan's bit.
I'm so sorry. What else do we bloody and then we
Jesus.
muck around for a few moments.
Yeah.
We bloody love gaming.
We do.
And it's bloody great to have them on board. And I'm just so excited that they use the word bloody in their name because that tends to be a lot of what we say. So, bloody welcome to the team and welcome to the family, Aussie Broadband. And here we are. It's going to, I can tell you now, it's gonna get eventually a lot more sharper. It feels echoey in here. It probably sounds a little bit echoey. That's because we've got about 6 meters of roof above us as well. We are in a factory unit out in the industrial spaces of Perth. Excuse me. But it is coming together and we are here. So thank you very much for joining us, Aussie Broadband. It's bloody wonderful to have you with us. And let's get on with the bloody good game of the week. What are we starting with?
Well,
Quickly jump in.
Oh, yes,
and just
Stormy.
say, Reflex, thank you for the raid.
Has
Welcome
Reflex
in.
rated us?
Oh,
Yes, Reflex has.
Flexi!
Hi, Reflex and friends. How you doing?
oh shit, we got sound effects.
I got sound effects. I'm going to get better sound effects because I want some of my old school sound effects from when Dan and I used to do the show.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to getting Dan back into this studio and getting him back involved. It's going to be great. But we do have some sound effects. That's if the bloody good game of the week is shithouse. But it's not this week. It's a bit of this. Can you hear those, Stormy?
No, I'm probably looking really blankly while
Yeah,
the
you
sounds
are.
are going. Can the
That's
chat hear it? I'm
really
like,
awkward. It's really awkward. It's actually voice clips of your voice. That
Oh,
we're
no.
using.
We've taken
No,
stuff
no
from
one
your
wants that.
stream.
Yeah, so yeah, no, we've got no one wants that. We've got a lot of great moments from when you've just died playing Elden Ring.
oh yeah, you will have an absolute massive range of me on
Yeah.
the verge of tears.
It's a high range. But anyway,
Yeah.
let's get on with it.
That's it. So the first game in the bloody good games of the week, thanks to Aussie Broadband. There, I've been replaying Festival Tycoon. It's this little indie game. I got to play it first time about a year ago. I think it was on like a Steam festival type thing, and then I got a key for when it launched into early access, and it's just now come out on Steam and Epic now. Exited. My words work good tonight.
Exited early access.
That's the one.
Is
Too
that what
many
it
E's
is?
in there.
So we have some like proper full-time, like full-on game stuff happening.
Yep. So this is like you if you're watching it on Twitch or on YouTube, you'll see the footage there now. But basically, you build your festival and then you run it, and all the things associated with the festival. You put in accommodation, sideshows, decorations. You book the bands. If you run out of cash, you book the sponsors and get all them in, and you have
What
to
kind of
satisfy them.
sponsors are we talking about here? Are they generic sponsors or are there actually name brand sponsors in there?
No, just generic sponsors, but some of them are like banks and energy drinks and stuff like that. And when you're playing career mode, like stuff will happen like a sponsor will have had a bumpy year, so next year they put in more money, or some Dinglebat band member's gone and done something silly, thrown something out a window or something, and so their reputation goes down a little bit or up. I don't know, it might go up if
I
people
don't know.
might like that.
I don't know what you guys have like. Have you played Pro Evolution Soccer versus FIFA?
No.
Right. So Pro Evolution Soccer, and Dan and I have spoken about this in previous shows. It's the names that they have for people because they can't actually use the licensed names are hilarious. And you go through them and you know that it's Cristiano Ronaldo, but they call him, I don't know, like Caraninho Ribaldi or something like that, right? You know it's him. And there's, and I want to see that for this. I want to see Red Bull being called Pink Pig or something like that. Like that's... Sorry, Stormy. I should have waited for you to finish drinking that. Like that's what I want to say. I want to look in this game and go, oh, there's Red Bull, but it's called Pink Pig. But we know that it's Red Bull because it's two pigs, like butting heads. That's what I want out of life and out of this game.
But it's like one of those games. You can do a festival, play for 20, 30 minutes and put it down and be done with it. Or you can just sit there and play the whole thing. And like when you go into the actual festival mode of it, it's not just... you sit back and watch things. Like stuff happens. Fights break out.
Fights break out.
So like you can employ bouncers and station them round, and they can break up the fights. Or if you haven't employed them, you have to manually do it. Like stalls run out of food and drink, and toilets get clogged and stuff like that. It's so
Is this part of the?
This is not. This is
part of it.
This is an ad has come up on YouTube.
Stormy, that's the. We're breaking the fourth wall here.
Yeah.
But that's the light version, LITE, where every time you finish a festival, a YouTube ad pops
That's
up.
right. Yeah. You got to get the sponsors somehow. Come on. Yeah.
I just love how incredibly complex this is. Like, I love tycoon games. I like, even like the original old like Zoo Tycoon. Like, I wish they would actually do a proper remake of that and bring that back, because I know they tried to release it on the Xbox, I think, years ago, and it just wasn't the same. So anything that's remotely similar like this Like, I think you've just ruined my last few days at uni. I mean, like my last few weeks at uni. Like, I want to play this and invest all my time into it. This looks amazing.
So I shouldn't tell you it's only like, I think it's less than $20 on Steam.
No, don't say that either.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
It is. There's different maps you can go to. You can make custom music because the bands obviously can't play licensed music. But when you like zoom in on a stage, you can hear the music that they play. So you can upload your own little custom music and whatnot to play in there. And there's some modding stuff involved in it as well, so that you can make your own maps. It's just such a cool little game.
I like it.
And one other thing we love, indie devs, and this is made by one person, and it's so cool. And like just seeing how it's come on in the year since I played it, where like it's just gotten so much more polish, and it's just such a nice little chill game that you can sit there and play until the festival happens and you're breaking up fights and stuff like that.
Rock and roll, man.
Yeah.
Stormie, do you want to go next? What's your bloody good game of the week?
So my bloody good game of the week is Until Dawn. I feel like horror fans or horror gaming fans are being given a bit of a treat at the moment because we've got games like Evil Dead coming out on Friday, and then we've got The Quarry coming up in the next few weeks. And I know previously I talked about Until Dawn because I am so excited for The Quarry. It's always a game that I've watched people play, but I've never played myself. Few reasons why I personally wanted to play it, not just because I like my horror stuff, but because the cast is so cool. So in this one, you can see Rami Malek, you've got Hayden Panettiere, Jordan Fisher, and I'm missing someone that I really love.
Hang on,
Brett Dalton as well.
Did Hayden just get sliced by a thing? Is that what I just saw?
It's very gory. So, like, basically, it is a choose your own adventure horror interactive game. So if you play at the Dark Pictures anthology, these are made by the same people. It's the same kind of concept where you're controlling the lives of several different characters, and your choices basically determine who will live and who will die, and even relationships between characters. So there's so many different endings. So I've just started playing that on my stream on Friday, and it's really, it had me on edge. They have some really cheap scares, but they always get me because I'm just easily frightened. But it's a really good one, I think, in terms of replayability, because there were actually a lot of people in the chat at the time talking about them having played the game before and just being excited to see what path I was going to take, or which relationship am I going to blow up between all these random couples, and there's all this teen drama happening and stuff too.
Which hand grenades are you going to lob in?
Sorry?
Which hand grenades are you going to lob in? Just amongst
Which hand grenades have I got to lob in? Surely I was responsible for something. I don't think I've made any too terrible, violent choices at the moment. I think that's what I'm leading up to next. I got scared by a dove. I got scared by a wolverine. Very, very simple. It was very tame stuff. And I think the gore's just about to commence. But yeah, don't play this if you've got a weak stomach. But it is definitely a good one if you have a few friends over to play with, or if you're looking for a fun game just to enjoy with others. This has been my bloody good game of the week so far.
This is the part in this trailer right now where there it is, Hayden gets sliced again. That's so visceral. That's so incredibly visceral to me. Just seeing the blood splatter. Even though you don't actually see the blade cutting through it, you just know what's happening. Oh, and the fact that Rami Malek's character is right next to her, strung up,
Rami Malek
having to watch it.
Creepy character. And another thing that's part of the game, a mechanic that really, really stresses me out is there's some moments in the game, because there's quick time events, but there's also moments where you can't move the controller. And I always, my knee was jiggling through the whole thing because I was so nervous. And I was like, okay, come on, stop. I had to tell myself, stop moving, or something will happen. But yeah, it is very interactive in the controller aspect as well, because it is a PlayStation exclusive. So the stuff they do with the controller is really, really fun.
Haptic feedback? Is that what you're talking about?
No, because I don't believe they introduced any PlayStation 5 features, but it was just like the inbuilt like DualShock 4 motion controls. Oh, my camera's going to turn off. That still comes across to the DualSense controller.
That signals the fact that we've reached half an hour of the podcast.
Yep. It's a very good timer.
Very nice. There you go. Bloody good game of the week until dawn. Straight. Roll it, my friend.
Roll it. Okay, we're rolling.
Roll
Hang
it,
on.
brother. There it is. It's an oldie but a goodie, and for the first time, I'm starting to scratch the surface of what you can see right now on the screen. Guys, I'm playing Minecraft, and I'm having an absolute ball. And the reason being is my daughter, my eldest daughter, who turns 6 in a month, she came home and she had a picture, and it was a printout. She's in year 1 at school. And it was a picture of it was a Minecraft scene, and it was like a rainbow something or other that she'd built up out of the ground, and she had put her name on it. And I looked at it and I was like, "Did you build this?" And she goes, "I built this in Minecraft, Dad." And by the way, she's starting to call me Dad. She's not calling me Daddy anymore. I'm really. Well, I'm kind of, this one thing I'm excited about with her not calling me daddy anymore. And then, like, I just got to wait for Isabella to grow out of calling me daddy. And then, like, Liz will be able to call me daddy again, and that'll be cool. So she had it, and she was like, "Can we play it?" So pulled a couple of controllers out and, like, set it up and everything. And now we've like opened up a world for her and opened up full creative, and we're starting to build this world out. And she's, built herself a little house, and I don't know that she knows it. I don't think she does it. I'm sure she doesn't. But she has actually built a LGBTQI coloured house.
Hey.
She's built the rainbow house. So it's just very cool. And we're having a ball because, obviously, like on the same screen, cooperative. Even my middle daughter, well, my youngest daughter, but the middle child, she's got a controller as well now. So she's playing too. She doesn't know what the hell she's doing. All she spends her time doing is flying up into the sky and then getting the shits on that she can't be on the ground, and so she gets pissed off, throws the controller, and then she's like, "Daddy, fix it." So we're doing that. The three of us are playing together, and we're having really good fun. And I'm unlocking, clearly what is years of what other people have known, and that is just how much fun and creative and imaginative this game is. I'm having a ball.
Your favorite thing that you've learned so far in Minecraft, like what like do you just like building stuff, or have you gone into like exploring and crafting or mining and stuff? Like, what's your daughter's been teaching you?
So we've only just been building. So like we've literally just started with an open plain. We haven't got a world that's sort of populated. You can sort of get the worlds pre-built a little bit. They've got a bit of snow, they've got a bit of so on and so forth. And we're not playing survival mode, we're just playing open creator mode. So what I'm enjoying is just this free form version of the game, and just basically, because I'm so new to it, just mucking around with everything, right? So throwing things in, and I actually really like digging into the ground. I don't know if that sounds weird. I don't know. Like, if you guys
the golden rule about digging down?
What?
You don't dig down, like you don't dig straight down, or you could like, so if you go into like normal Minecraft and not creative Minecraft, if you keep digging straight down, you could risk yourself like falling straight to the bottom of a mine and like losing all your stuff and dying.
Can you? Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Golden rule, don't dig down.
Okay, so the first thing I did was dig down as far as I could, and then ended up underneath the map, and then I got lost. Have you ever seen those videos of like people who go ice diving in lakes and then they forget where the hole is? And they're like, and then people have to come along and like smash the ice to get them out? That was me. That was me in this game. The other thing that I'm learning is that water hates you in this game. Like, trying to control water is fucked. It's shit ass. And I built a giant tank next to the, like you can see on the screen right now, like all these rainbow colors. I built a giant rainbow glass tank, and I was going to fill it full of fish and all sort of stuff. And I thought to myself, okay, so the glass tank sits on the floor. Naturally, if I got glass sitting on the floor, There's no water going to get out of that. Water just fucking went everywhere. Water's going all over the house, and so I'm learning things as I go, but I'm having a lot of fun.
It must be like the thing that people do in Minecraft, because the first thing I would do when I get into Minecraft is dig down. Like I dig my staircase down, and then I get to a point, and then I just excavate.
Yeah. I think that's gamers in general, right? Like we just push we like to see what we can fuck up first, and or just push the boundaries. And I saw a classic meme today. And I think it's one of my most favourite memes of all time. I think it was actually shared in our Mates and Games group on the Facebook page. And it was a bloke and a kid. They're sitting in a room and they're playing a video game. And it cuts to the video game. And on the screen of the video game, you actually see there's a rock it's a 2D platformer, clearly. There's a rock to the left. And what the guy does is he runs into that rock. Right? Going back before going forward. And the kid's like, why'd you do that? And he's like, because a video game showed me that there was a secret there once, and now my OCD makes sure that I do it every single game that I ever play. And I think that's classic. Like 2D games, platforms and stuff, I always, at the beginning of it, go left to see if there's a secret before I go right. Yeah. I always jump off stupid ledges and end up dying because you just don't know if somebody's hidden a fucking cave down there or something like that.
Well, that Minecraft level in Donkey Kong Country, where the secret is jump over the first barrel into the darkness, and then you go right to the end of the level.
Exactly.
It's even like, have you guys, you know the trick with the waterfalls? It's like I always got to look behind a waterfall to see if there's a secret there.
Yep.
That's another one.
100%. I did that in Elden Ring, and there was just an enemy there, and he smacked me.
Yeah, that happens to me too.
They're not always good surprises.
No, they're not. No. So there you go. Bit of Minecraft, guys. That's our bloody good games of the week, thanks to Aussie Broadband.
Bloody good, amazing.
Bloody good broadband, my friend.
Bloody fantastic.
Thank you, bloody Aussie Broadband. We're going to cut back to shot.
Yep.
Oh, there we go.
Where's
this I like this. I like this thing. I like what's so going on here. This is cool. So what have we got here?
We got a bit of news as well to get on with there. Well, the first one I think only happened today. It was apparently EA and FIFA are splitting up after 30 years.
I know.
I'm a little sad.
Why are you sad?
Well, because they've been together so long. Not that I ever play a FIFA game. I think they're boring, to be honest.
It'd be weird calling it anything other than FIFA now, because as far as I'm aware, and you might go into this into a second, but the games are still going to exist. But obviously that FIFA name is no longer attached to it, so it's very interesting. Thoughts?
So here's my thoughts, right? And I'm just reading into why. So after months of, and this is from, sportingnews.com, after months of negotiations regarding an extension of their current partnership, the two sides were unable to come to an agreement on future terms. While the current contract expires after the 2022 World Cup, EA Sports and FIFA agreed to extend the current deal through the FIFA Women's World Cup in July and August 2023. The EA Sports video game has grown to, we know all of this stuff, over $20 billion in game sales alone, plus the valuable FIFA Ultimate Team game mode. That's valued at approximately $1.2 billion annually, by the way, they make out of people buying those packs. Now, the name's going to change to EA Sports FC. I mean, it's interesting for me because this is like, as you mentioned, Stormy, this game, because they've been associated for 20 years, and we've seen, FIFA 1, FIFA 2, FIFA 3, whatever it is, right? This game is like how people call tissues a Kleenex. You know what I mean?
Or cool as an esky.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Like that, there's at some point, when a brand becomes so synonymous with a product, like it can overtake it. I think that's what's happened here, right? So even though we're going to look on the shelves and it's going to say EA Sports FC, what I find interesting about this is like people's buying behavior. They may start looking over the fence at other games just by virtue of the fact that it's not called FIFA anymore. And it's that whole, it's the whole psyche of it, like walking into a shop and looking on the shelves and going, where's FIFA?
Yep.
EA Sports FC. Now, you know that is the game, right? You know that's the game. but it doesn't look the same. So if it doesn't look the same, is it kind of like going to give you the same sort of emotional tie to it anymore? I don't necessarily know that it's going to.
I'm thinking about like my favorite game titles and calling it something kind of similar but not quite, and thinking if I knew that this game was out there called by this different name and I didn't know the news and I saw it, I'd be like, I think I would feel the same, kind of what you were saying, Pete. That emotional kind of like connection that you have with it is like, yeah, it's just, I think it's the psyche of it. It's just not the same, I don't think. I agree with you.
Yeah, I kind of see it as well. Like if somebody told me Mario was going to be called Bob, I wouldn't be happy with that. But like I can see why they're doing it though, because I was reading a bit in the lead up to the show, and basically it sounds like FIFA doesn't give them anything other than the title, really. Like because FIFA's the federation for football, so it's like the overseeing body. So stuff like they're still going to have the arrangements with, you know, UEFA Championship and the EPL and all the mainland European leagues. So you're still going to have the players. You're still going to have those leagues in there. You're just not going to have the FIFA name.
Yeah, that's funny, isn't it? Like there's you're right. There's literally nothing to it. So they still own like EA Sports will still own or license the rights.
Yeah, they'll license the rights to all of that stuff. They've just decided.
I haven't had a chance to have a look into this stuff, but this is the stuff that I wanted to, and the news only came to hand to us today. But I wanted to have a look into the intricacies of where the connections are. You know, like do they license the Premier League through FIFA? Like, did that all come with the name of FIFA, or does FIFA only really give them like a block of this sort of stuff over here somewhere?
Yeah, from what I was reading, that's pretty much the case, because I think all the individual licenses with the EPL and UEFA and all those sorts of stuff are done separately. So as far as EA were concerned, I think they were just paying for the brand, and now they've decided that that's not enough.
Maybe it's not. I mean, if they're making 20, if they've made how many? How
was it $1.2 billion?
$1.2 billion annually. $20 billion in game sales alone. I mean, you know, clearly they hold all the cards. It's their game. I would love to have been a fly on the wall in that meeting to find out exactly what it was that FIFA wanted out of this deal. Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh, there you go. We'll see a little bit more of that come out. What else is going on?
I think Stormie had something there for Gotham Knights.
Yeah, well, I mean, last night basically Gotham Knights I've got a few more details. There was a 13-minute gameplay video of I believe it was Red Hood and Nightwing. But along with the news, it's still slated to come out the same date in October. They actually announced that they will not be releasing the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions of the game. They're only releasing Gotham Knights for the new generation consoles, so Xbox Series S and X and PlayStation 5. I've just got an IGN article up here. I think they haven't said specifically why, other than saying that it will give players the best possible gameplay experience. So it's an interesting one for a few reasons, not just because of Gotham Knights, but when we're thinking about how scarce these new generation consoles have been. And like, you don't even have to be, I think, a gaming fan to know that these consoles have been an absolute pain in the ass to try and get a hold of. And in part of me, and this is something I want to discuss with you guys and obviously discuss with the chat as well. Like, in one hand, I understand because we have instances where games like, for example, Cyberpunk would release and, you know, we would hear that it would run really well on the new generation consoles, but really struggle on those Xbox One and PlayStation 4 consoles. Even for me, when I played the Avengers game on my Series X and then took that same game over to my siblings' house who still had like the original Xbox One, that struggled graphically more so than anything else. So in one hand, I can see, okay, if Gotham Knights is supposed to perform the best on the new generation consoles, makes sense. But then, unfortunately, all the people who aren't as lucky to have been able to obtain one of those consoles in the last couple of years now miss out, and arguably one of the biggest titles of the year been announced so far, which really really, really sucks. And that's like not anyone's fault because obviously there's so many factors that have come into the shortage of these consoles and people to be able to get a hold of them. But what do you guys feel about this exclusivity on the new generation consoles? What do you think?
Well, was Gotham Knights ever announced to be on the previous gen consoles?
I think it was.
Okay.
I am so sure it was. Because it says here, when the game was first revealed in 2020, it was set to include the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions.
So I have a problem with that bit. Like, you're going to get it with every console generation. There's going to be a point where games stop coming out on the old ones and start coming out on the new ones. And we say that there's problems getting hold of like PlayStation 5s and Xbox Series X's, but there was only a couple of weeks ago that we were sitting here talking about how the Xbox Series X has sold more than what the Xbox 360 did in its first 18 months of life. So the consoles are out there. It's just that more people want them. So I think that if it had just been announced that it was going to be a next-gen game to start with, then I wouldn't have a problem with this. But the fact that they said that it was going to be on the previous gen consoles and now they're reneging on that I have a problem with.
Infernox has mentioned something that was a point that I was going to bring up. He said it in chat. They wouldn't want to risk being cyberpunked if there was a scary or bad performance. Easy to just blame. They spread themselves too thin on old gen. I agree. And I think for me it's an interesting one because it's like I get what you're saying about them promising, and I totally get that as well. But it's like I'm sure they wouldn't make this decision if they didn't have just cause to be able to do so. And I guess it's kind of like, if they're looking at Cyberpunk, I mean, really, Cyberpunk could have saved itself a shit ton of problems if it had either delayed its release or not released on the old generation consoles.
Cyberpunk had other issues though. Like, it had it was announced at the beginning of the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, so it was expected that it would come to that.
100%.
Yeah.
But this one's...
I agree with you. And maybe that's part of their argument. Maybe that's they're kind of going, well, we've announced this while we're into the next generation. We know that it's going to perform at peak on the next generation, and maybe they've looked at the numbers straight. Like those numbers that you were talking about before, like the Xbox Series X, considering how much it has actually sold. Maybe they're looking at the numbers and they're going, the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 between them, for us to take the risk and go, we're not going to put it, backlash be damned, we're not going to put it on PS4, we're not going to put it on the Xbox. Maybe they've looked at the numbers, they've crunched them, and they've gone, there are enough people who are going to buy this game for us to make the money we need to justify releasing it only on the next-gen consoles.
I think it's interesting because kind of going back to this is for no obvious reason, me saying Marvel or anything, it's not about that, but the Avengers game, or even just games that have come out in the last couple of years, trying to run that on my siblings' old Xbox One, first year console, so which is about 6 years old now. I think just firsthand seeing how much those consoles are starting to struggle, even with new release games, I feel like they've made the right call. I can probably empathize with the fact that when Gotham Knights first got announced, the goal there was to obviously bring it to all platforms. But I think if they had the choice to be like, okay, we'll still bring it to all platforms, except these older consoles are going to struggle, or we can have a nice, reputation for a better, smoother running game by making it a new generation exclusive, I would go for that.
It's a stupid question, but I'm sure it is being released on PC, right?
Yes, I think it's through the Epic Games Store.
Yeah, so
by Steam and Epic Games Store.
You're capturing a shit ton of the market there, aren't you?
Yeah.
I mean, I will get it on Xbox Series X, purely because I'm really enjoying having the console experience back again. For a long time there, I wasn't playing consoles. And then when the Series X was dropped on my doorstep, I was like, oh, okay, I'll give this a bash, even though that I'm just loving the hell out of playing things on PC. But I'm really enjoying the console experience. And it's for a number of reasons. Like it's a little bit less it's a little bit less intrusive, or you don't get as intruded on. There's less distractions when you're playing console because you don't have like Discord popping off and other bits and pieces happening that you do on PC. But PC is the best experience hands down. But yeah, I'll still play this on console. I mean, shit, they might even have people. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who are purchasing things. I've got Horizon Zero Dawn on the PS4 Pro and on my PC. Like I bought it on. I haven't even played it on my PC yet. Like I've bought them on both. Like and there's probably that too. They're probably relying on a little bit of that as well.
Yeah. What was I going to say?
Sorry, I was going to say it was. I think it'd be interesting to see. Obviously, I feel like this year so far has been a little slow in like the mainstream, like big game release announcements at the moment. So coming up to when we have, obviously there's no E3 this year, but when we do come to the season in June, if there will be new announcements, whether we'll start seeing these games continue to have new gen exclusivity, or how many, I guess, in a ratio, how many will still support previous generation consoles. I think there's a lot of factors, obviously, to think about there, but I'm just really interested to see what the future is going to be this year for any new announcements.
What do we got next, mate?
Well, not so good news. Over the weekend, Xbox had a few outages.
Yeah, what happened here? I mean, I was pretty inundated over the weekend, so I didn't get much of a chance to turn the thing on.
It was Mother's Day here, so hopefully we were spending some time with our mothers, or if your partners are mothers, you're doing stuff there. Yeah.
It was that thing.
Yeah.
Can I tell you guys a funny story just quickly?
Sure.
About Mother's Day. So my oldest daughter, decided to get up on Sunday morning and make mum a heap of stuff like for breakfast. Made her breakfast in bed. Bless her, little cotton socks.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
How long did you spend cleaning up?
A long time.
Yeah.
I did so I woke up to clanging and banging and I was like, oh fuck shit. Oh shit, that sounds like the kitchen. Oh fuck shit. I got up and walked in there. Liz was still in bed. Walked in there. I could smell gas. So the gas was on. The gas was on. The gas was on. There was a few eggs, floating around the place, other bits and pieces. She'd given up on whatever it was that she was trying to do, so I stuck over and turned the gas off.
Oh.
But she made my wife warm milk in the microwave and cereal.
Oh, good effort.
And that required pots and pans.
And they did, yeah. But she managed to get it done, and then she took them to Liz, and Liz ate them all and drank the milk, and it was great.
Oh, bless.
And then Liz realised later on that the milk that she'd used was the out of date stuff that we'd left on the bench to throw out. So
oh no.
So go good on you, all the mums out there. Happy Mother's Day, all the mums out there. Anyway, that's my story.
Yes.
Sorry. Get us back on track.
So I must admit, I was a bit busy over the weekend as well, so I didn't actually experience this. And I honestly, I don't even know if it was in Australia or if it was like a US thing or European thing, but apparently Xbox servers went offline twice. And it got a few people hot under the collar because it didn't just stop them from playing online, it stopped them from playing games full stop.
Well, you couldn't even actually get into your Xbox.
Yep.
What about Xboxes that weren't like plugged in? Well, like weren't plugged into the grid. They were offline completely.
No, because Xbox does this thing, and I found this out a few years ago because I took my Xbox somewhere. I won't say where because I'll get in trouble. But I took it somewhere, and I didn't connect it to the internet and plugged it in, and it said, "Oh, this Xbox isn't set up as your home Xbox, so you can't play anything." Even if you had actually, I'm trying to remember what I was playing and if I had the disc for it, but I'm pretty sure even if you have the disc, it still wants to try and connect to the internet if it's not your home Xbox.
That's balls.
Yeah. So if with the Xbox servers going down and if people hadn't set that up, they wouldn't be able to play anything.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what happened? Why'd they go down?
I'm not sure. I didn't find out in the end because by the time I'd seen it, it was just like, oh, cool, that happened. But it was just a thing around DRM for me because you bought a game, even if you've got the physical copy of the game, or if you bought it digitally as well, it's on your Xbox, you've already downloaded it, but you can't play it because your console still has to talk to the internet. It's even like your computers. If you're not connected to the computer after about 30 days, it'll try and connect to the internet. And if you can't, it'll flick up a warning saying, we're not sure if Windows is activated properly. Please connect to the internet. And so we can confirm your activation and that you've got a legitimate copy of Windows.
So just looking through this, they didn't have any reason. They actually didn't give a reason as to why servers were down. Which I suppose, I mean, really, nobody really gives a shit as to why the servers are down. They just want them back up again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does DRM stand for?
Digital rights management.
What's that?
It's
this. I love this because this is straight. This is because straight is this is what he does like by trade. You're Mr. Tech.
So digital rights management is stuff that's encoded into games to make them, or not just games, but any sort of digital thing that prevents you from like selling them or copying them. So the simplest forms are like Nintendo, like back in the day, having cartridges, and the cartridges were made in a specific way, and Nintendo controlled that manufacturing process. So
are you talking about like PAL versus NTSC?
No, those are different formats, so they're different. I'm talking about like the physical media. So, and even like when they moved to GameCube, they used those proprietary mini CDs, which were harder to get hold of. So they did that. But then there's stuff that gets encoded into games to say, to prevent copy stuff. So it's a lot of the time, it's are you connected to the internet, and we're going to send a message to an activation server and say, is this game legit? Yes, it's using a key that nobody else is using. So
okay. Well, that all makes sense then, because regardless of whether or not you're connected to the internet, if they're having DRM issues, then it means that their servers aren't reading what you're putting out there.
But it's not so much that that shouldn't happen though. Because
I agree.
Yeah, and if the servers go down, you should still be able to play the games that you own.
Yeah.
Like, even if you go back in the day, if I go buy a Super Nintendo game or a Mega Drive game, I can still plug that into any console I want and play it.
I was finding it hard to connect the dots. Now I get it. Like it's like, so people couldn't play their games because Xbox's servers couldn't. Like they couldn't go, oh, that's a game that you own and that's a legitimate copy of that game.
Yeah.
That's shit.
Yep.
That is shit.
I'm glad you caught up, Pete.
Well, I had to get the explanation of what DRM was.
No, I was learning it too. I was learning it too, but now it does make sense. Yeah.
I thought DRM was like a fairly common thing that people spoke about in like gaming circles in particular, because that was the big thing about when Xbox One came on, and they were like Microsoft tried to price out the second-hand market by saying, if every game would have a key and it would be tied to your account. So if you sold the physical copy of the game, that person that bought it couldn't play it. They'd have to pay Microsoft a fee to be able to play that game.
That is fucked. That is some dystopian futuristic shit.
And that's why the Xbox One fell on a hole for so many years, and it took Phil Spencer so long to turn it back around.
God bless you, Phil.
Yeah.
So Natty said, we learned this lesson in 2013 with SimCity. No idea why we've let consoles be set up like this. What happened in 2013 with SimCity?
I don't know. I don't play
Natty,
SimCity.
what happened in 2013 with SimCity?
I'll have to ask her on Nuts and Bolts after.
You got to ask her.
Yeah. Writing it down.
Hey, this is the second time my wife has tried calling. Hang on a second. Hello?
But yeah, it's the DRM is like it can be a good thing.
Hey, I'm sorry. I've just got to run downstairs. My wife is here and she's dropping dinner off.
Oh.
Okay, hang on. I'll be back.
You are so lucky.
Carry on. We'll carry on. We'll have a chat. We'll keep going. So, but yeah, it's DRM. It's like many things. It's got noble ideas in there. And the concept is good because you want to protect your stuff from piracy, but just sometimes the way it operates, it's not so good. And especially with things like if you've got to connect to a server, like most people, it doesn't matter. Like most people's daily lives are always connected to the net through, just their phone. But when it goes down, it becomes a problem.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can understand just the Xbox like servers like having issues at the moment. The fact that it didn't happen just once but twice, I can imagine why people were so angry. Like I was like you, I was quite busy on the weekend, so I didn't get a chance to jump into my Xbox personally, so I didn't have to deal with that. But yeah, that would have been
Well,
really annoying.
here's the thing, though, because with Microsoft doing all their other bits and pieces, it wouldn't have just been the Xbox. It would have been their cloud gaming stuff. It probably would have been anything through the Xbox app that was on the PC, because that's all under Xbox as well. So it would have been so much. Any games that you had bought and played through Microsoft would have stopped working.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, don't we love the internet and online reliance? Like,
Oh, it's so good. It's most of the time it's so good. But yeah, it's fun. You wonder what would happen if it went away. Like tomorrow, the internet's gone. Stream suddenly cuts out. Whoops.
Yeah. No, don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
So touch wood. We're good.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm just trying to remember of any other big DRM stuff that's happened over the years. Like I think the big one was when Xbox One was announced for me. That and they were just trying to. It was always on, always connected to the internet, and it was just. Yeah, it was just such a bizarre press conference. I remember Sony releasing their piss take video at the time because you couldn't even lend your Xbox games to your other friends and whatnot. So Sony did a whole thing. This is how you share video games on Xbox, and basically went, yeah, you have that. And that was it. That was the whole video.
Natty said there was a Batman game where the pirated version of the game you couldn't glide.
Actually, there have been a lot around where, I think was it Fall Guys as well. Like they had a cheaters island. So what would happen is anybody that they detected was cheating would just get sent to their own little island to compete against each other. And if I think the problem got so big though that the cheaters were just playing amongst themselves.
Oh no! So it actually became like its own game rather than an actual punishment.
Oh, Pete.
Oh no! I can't imagine a Batman. Like, could you imagine you downloaded that? Oh, what is that?
You know how we're talking about how good I was smelling earlier.
It's
I'm just a little jealous of this right now.
Here, mate, get in on this.
No, it's your dinner. I can't.
No, it's fine. Please, here. It's a.
Oh,
thank you.
What is it? What do you call this?
It's like a quiche.
Zucchini quiche.
nothing, I just,
Like a slice.
oh.
Well, let's have them.
Thanks, Liz.
There you go.
No, it's your dinner.
No. It's all good.
You guys are so cute. Oh, no, it's your dinner. Oh no.
You have a ref.
Oh.
No. You know why? Because after this, I've got to go to a rosary. For my sister-in-law's nonna who passed away. And it's an Italian rosary, and there'll be food up the wazoo.
Enough said. Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm just watching you guys eat it now.
Apologies. Where were we? What were we up to?
I was padding for time until you got back.
Yeah, and then Natty mentioned, because we're talking about DRM and stuff, Natty mentioned that there was a Batman game with a pirated version of the game you couldn't glide.
That's right. And there's a few games out there where within the first half an hour of the game, something big and mean and ugly just bursts out and kills them. Yeah.
The gliding part of Batman is the best part of the game.
Could you imagine you go to glide after you pirated this game and you just
fall?
Yeah.
Like if you take gliding out of Batman, and it's just man. It's literally just man.
Just man.
That's the best part of the game. Remember Stormie. Excuse me, Stormie. You might be a bit too young. I can't believe I'm saying that, but you might be a bit too young to remember this.
Go on.
But once upon a time, you used to tell your friends. You used to take your PlayStation 1, and you'd take it to if you lived here in Perth, you'd take it to the Gosnells Railway Markets, and there'd be a chip modder, and you'd go and get it modded, and then when your friends or your family went to Bali, you'd give them $100 and tell them to get you a shit ton of games, and these games cost you $2. Mm-hmm. And they actually didn't what you do is 70% of the games wouldn't work, right? But 30% of them would work. You'd get a few across the line, and you'd get a few good ones across the line as well, like Grand Theft Autos and stuff like that. So, yeah, good times. Good times.
Good times. I just remember because I had a modded PS1, and we ended up in some guy's dodgy front room, and that's where we got it modded.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like they looked it up on like Quokka or something, which is like a classified ads for other people that don't have Quokka. And yeah, they went, this guy does mods, so we rocked up there. There was a few other people there as well, but yeah, we've just gone around to his house and he's modded it.
It would have been some shabby old house in Beckenham or something like that.
It was pretty close. I think it was Qdale.
Yeah. So for those, like, if you're not from Perth, those are like those are the bum suburbs. Like they're getting better now. They're all getting better. But I lived in Queen's Park growing up, which was around the corner from Beckenham. Excuse me. And it was a shambles.
Your mate from radio grew up in Beckenham, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
Matty. Yeah, my mate Matt grew up in Beckenham. And he's royalty. He's Beckenham royalty.
That's it, even though he doesn't live there anymore.
No.
Mongrel.
Class
betrayer.
Bloody got out. What do we got in here? Anything interesting from our wonderful Twitches? Yeah, now you just said, I'm not sure I can recall. Did you say this comment, Stormy? Natty's comment?
No, not that one. It was a previous one, so I haven't read that yet, if you do want to read that.
So I remember there was a modder that created a fake cheat pack. When people downloaded it, they would trigger all sorts of ridiculous things. Like they couldn't throw a grenade when they triggered it. Just stuff like
I love
that.
how creative that is, though.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, and the ones that work for a little bit, and then all of a sudden it turns into a chicken and people just start farming them. Yeah.
Bloody brilliant. All right, mate. What else? Just about there or what?
I think that's all the ones we put to talk about. There's a few more things that happened, but I think that's enough for now. You got to head off. And
I'm going to head off.
We got nuts and bolts to do after this, and I'm sure Stormy's really hungry after watching us eat all this lovely zucchini slice.
Get along, Stormy. Get along. So, Stormy, you'll be in here next week. You'll be in the studio.
Fingers crossed. If all goes well, that's my determination to get me to stay on top of my last bits of uni work, is just so I know I've got time to come in and hang out with you guys behind the table next week.
Hey.
That's the plan.
Unreal, mate.
So much fun.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Straight. It's been good fun, sir.
It really has, Pete, Stormy. It's been so much fun. Thanks, everybody, for joining us in Twitch chat, or if you're listening to us on a podcast or on YouTube as well. Thank you so much to Aussie Broadband, bloody good broadband there, for sponsoring our little bloody good game segment there.
Bloody good on you.
And for the wonderful internet in our new studio.
And thank you very much to Hardware Talk NZ, who just dropped us 100 cheeky bits. He says, here's some bits from my weekly allowance this week. Enjoy them. We will. Nom, 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 nom.
Thank you so much. Stick around for nuts and bolts, and I'll be right back. Bye. The others will be somewhere, just not here.
See ya. Oh, hey, watch this. Watch this. Hang on, don't go yet. Watch this.
Okay, all right.
Hey, Stormy, wave again.
Why?
Hang on, wait.
Are you going to be my arm?
I'm your arm.
Yeah.
Hang on. Okay. I've got to try and match
Hold
it.
on, I'm staying very still.
Okay, and go.
All right, I'm waving.
Magic!
This is magic. This is the best.
This is terrible.
It's amazing.
This is amazing. All right,
Right.
get out of here, you crazy mothers.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for all your support. You can do a little bit more though.
You can.
Hit us up on our YouTube. Drop us a subscribe. Is that how the cool kids say it?
Exactly right, mate.
Smash that
Boom.
subs button.
Smash that subs button!
And yeah, you get to enjoy more Goa content.
Do it.